What's up, y'all? I've been avoiding doing this podcast all day. Welcome back to Contemplations Austin, episode 27. We only got 14 episodes left, including this one. Is my math right? Because 27, 8, 9. Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. We're back. We're here. We're doing this thing. Yeah, I've been playing with what is this going to become after 40 days? Do I do one a week? That doesn't seem like enough. Do I do 3 a week? I don't know where I came up with that. Do I change the format? Do I continue to do one daily and just find somebody to help me edit and do the timely stuff? So if I just record, I could do the daily. Is that too much? Do we even want daily? Do I go longer episodes? Do I start interviewing people? Let me know your thoughts. We're building this thing together. And speaking it together, one of the things I noticed is when I was looking at the spreadsheet of contemplations that were submitted, a lot of them felt forced. They felt like ideas that weren't going to breed valuable discussion in some way. I don't know. And so what I've been doing is just I'll wait for something to come through my mind that day, and then I'll do that. And so the word that came through today was magic. I don't even know what that means yet, but we're about to find out. Magic. Good to be here with you all. This episode is brought to you by Antheos Holistics. Again, reminder, we are launching the Inner Sanctuary. It's our premium offering. So much in there. 12 to 15 live calls a month. Original teachings by me. Instead of charging, the next cohort's going to be $15 a seat. $1,500 a seat. 30 seats max. That's what I used to charge for all my cohorts. My arena, men's cohort. And I love teaching. It's my thing. And so I'm trying to figure out how to make it more accessible while also teaching. And so I'm going to start teaching inside of the Inner Sanctuary. And first week of August, we launch with a 7-week teaching on Hermeticism. It is the foundational teaching that changed my life. You get teachings by me. You get calls with 4 other incredible facilitators, women's circles, group channeling calls, a group chat, discounts, perks, a whole lot of stuff. $77 till Monday or Sunday night. That's insane. We're going to go up to 99, then 111, then 133, then 149, all before the end of the year. It's going to keep going up and up because we're standing in our value now. And our promise is if you don't get the value that we promise you out of it, you're going to get a refund after your first month. So join us. We're building community. We're doing this thing together. And your stewardship ends up perpetuating the Antheos mission. I'll see you there. Okay, magic. Yeah, I just got to talking to myself today. Yeah, we're never talking to ourselves. We're always talking to God. Yeah, so if you ever feel alone, just always remember that you're never alone. God is always with us. And I notice how I skirt the woo-woo. I skirt it. I talk about it, but I skirt it. And so maybe this is just coming out of that woo-woo closet, y'all. Like, let's get into it. Let's talk about magic. This life is magic. I believe that every single thing that we experience in this life is symbolism of the spiritual nature. And that the physical reality is not even real. Not in the sense that we believe it is. We have made, and we're coming out of the Kali Yuga. That's part of it. This is this is why science has been uprooted and changed and evolved every 10 to 15 years. What they were 100% certain is right ends up getting changed. And then the next change, it's like, this is the 100% right. And then that changes. And then and it's like on and on and on and on and on. We've been seeing this happen for the last 2,000 years. I'm tired of it. I'm annoyed. It's annoying. Admit that you don't know shit, and then I'll start to believe you. This is the latest that we have, but the dogma and all that. And it's because you're using the physical sense of what reality is to try to explain the very nature of reality. It's never going to work. Everything is spiritual, y'all. Everything is spiritual. And I don't even know if that word doesn't land for you. Maybe whatever is the realm that everything emanates and is created from is the basis of this. And so I believe that physical reality is just the symbolic representation of our relationship and understanding and level of awareness and consciousness and belief in the realm of magic, in the realm of spirit, in the realm of the infinite, the divine, the all-knowingness, the both nothing and everything. Everything is symbolic for something in our lives. Everything is representing someone. Every single person in your life represents some sort of wound, or not everybody represents a wound. Let me state this another way. I was talking to a friend yesterday, a guy who's going through this situation with this woman who's been in his life for like 7 years, and they lean on each other and they talk and hang out a few times a month, and he's like, in the back of my mind, she's kind of a backup plan, but I know she's not the one for me, and this is what I really want, and blah 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 blah. And we start talking about this. I'm like, what makes you think, or what makes you have the inability to walk away? And he's like, I'm afraid of abandoning her. I'm like, okay, so you're projecting your own shit on her. Let's get into this, bro. I'm like, first question. What is your mom's relationship to men? He tells me a little bit things. I'm like, further, what's her initial wound in relationship to men? He's like, I didn't really think it was a big deal, but her dad died when she was 2. I'm like, so you're telling me your mother's dad died when she was 2. That means your mother has a gigantic abandonment wound with men in her life. Did she do any work or healing around that? He's like, absolutely not. I'm like, okay. So that abandonment wound that she suffered at 2 years old was embedded in her DNA. Our DNA just carries information. It's just a frequency, and we attract everything in our life based on the frequency of our DNA. So if she has the wounding of abandonment buried in her DNA and then doesn't do any healing work around that and then has you, guess what your DNA is carrying? That abandonment wound. And guess what you're going to attract and relive in your life to give you an opportunity to heal that? The abandonment wound of the perspective of your feminine fearing the abandonment of the masculine. So this woman in your life is playing out your inner feminine, and your fear of abandoning her is just the fear of what your mother carried about being abandoned. I hope that you guys were able to track that with me. Everything is a mirror of ourself, guys. Everything. I mean this so undeniably literally, because it's either a yes or no thing. Now, inside of that, we find the paradox, so we don't have to choose, and we find our freedom, and we navigate. I talk about that a lot, but every single thing in your life represents something that you carry inside of you. And this is why I'm so adamant on sovereignty and freedom and taking the complete and total responsibility over everything in your life. Not a single thing that you're going through has to do with anybody in your life. Nothing. Not a feeling, not experience, not money, not your job, not your living situation, not your emotions, not your perspectives, not your belief systems, not your stories, not your traumas, not your wounds. It has nothing to do with anybody outside of yourself. And when we start to look at the magic in our life, when we start to look at the symbolism in our life and get really noticing, really present, noticing our thoughts and perceptions around things, noticing when we're telling ourselves stories, we can literally use the mirror of our lives to become free of anything. And then inside of that, we bring in some of the things I've been talking about. How intentional are you living? What does your life reflect to you? How does your life reflect your message? Are you paying attention to your frequency? Man, by the end of these 40 episodes, if people really go in and listen to every single one of these, it is my work's teaching, just flowing through on these things. My life's teachings, rather. And when I broke that download down to him, he was like, holy shit, dude, I can't unsee that. I'm like, yeah, she's just you outside of you. And I've talked about this before, maybe on the podcast, maybe in my cohort, maybe in my group calls. I don't know. I have so many of these calls, I often forget about where I talk about what. But my last relationship, and not even my last relationship, all the relationships before that, I realized I was attracting women that were the denial of my desire, because that's the place that I was living, and internally I wasn't owning my own desire. So externally I attract all things that are in denial of that desire as well, in hopes that I see that to learn the lesson of coming back home to myself and honoring what it is that I want in this life, of speaking what I want in this life, of owning my truth of what I want in this life. And when I realized that lesson, I was able to look back at every relationship and be like, holy shit, I was always attracting women that mirrored my own denial of what I desired within myself, of what I wanted inside of a relationship. And we could talk about this with everything. If you're not making enough money, then you're purposely attracting opportunities and jobs to confront your own distortion about your relationship with money in order to confirm some belief system you have. And so that is mirrored outside of you. But then if you become victim to it and you don't think there's another job, and there's not another opportunity, and you don't know, all you're doing is using your external reality to confirm the thing you believe about yourself and then wonder why things don't change. This is the thing with entheos. Making money was never my problem. I made a shit ton of money from the time I was 19 till I left the corporate world at 33 years old. Was that 33? I was 33. For 14 years of my life, I made really great money. Really great money. There's a few bad years in there where I had to struggle. Funny enough, when I got promoted to a branch manager at Chase from a banker, I made like half as much as a senior management position than it is a banker. It made no sense. So there's a few rough years in there. But for the most part, I made great money. So making money wasn't the problem. I just was doing it in a way that mirrored my capability and level of heart-led consciousness at that time, which was the willingness to perpetuate a debt-slave matrix, to put people in debt they didn't deserve, to get myself fat checks. I liked it at the time. And when I left that world, I was so afraid that I had made the connection that money was associated with soul-sucking work. Money was associated with doing something that I didn't like. So money became the frequency energetic match for a version of myself I didn't enjoy being in. And so the last 3 years, really 2 years, because after I left the corporate world, I really spent a year and a half, 2 years kind of fucking off and doing nothing. I had some money in my savings and I made a couple $100,000 to $250,000 from selling my house. I pumped a lot of that in entheos, and then I literally just, took a year and a half off, traveled a lot, did a lot of medicine work. So really the last 2 years, coming back into like alignment, like what is my mission? What is my purpose? What are my value systems? What am I building? How am I doing it? I've been confronting this part of me inside that was afraid of making money again because of who I was in the representation of that last time. And the version of me inside of that I didn't value myself. I didn't find myself worthy. And so I had to confront all these stories in this version to realize it has nothing to do with the money. I had to change my stories and my narratives around it to stand in my worthiness and value of what I'm building now, because it is of service, because I am changing people's lives, because my teachings are powerful. I now know that. I'm standing in that. I'm a powerful fucking teacher. A month ago, that would have been hard for me to say, but I've received dozens and dozens and dozens of reflections of people saying that I've been in 4 to 6 other containers. I've been to the 3-day things. I've gone to the conferences. I've been at the 10-day. I've been at all these programs. And this 8 weeks is the most powerful thing I've ever done in my life. I'm now accepting of that. I'm a powerful teacher because it's not my teachings. I am the vessel. I have cleared my channel enough and allowed me to get out of my own way, to not need to own any of it, to allow my channel to open and be the vessel for God to move through me. These aren't mine. I was the chosen vessel for these ideas to come through, even on this podcast. The reason I'm having so much fun is I'm just hitting record and I'm flowing it. And when I'm in a flow state, I don't believe what I'm saying is mine. I believe that this is a reflection of those who are listening to it. And the message will continue to evolve and change relative to those of you who show up to hear it. Because I am just a vessel for God to move through me. So the messages are through me, not of me. And the more I detach from any need for me to be the owner of these things. Entheos is its own entity. It's its own life force. It's its own being. I can have conversations with it. The more I detach from the need or requirement to own any of it, the more I see, ironically, the more I see my value inside of it. It's so wild, this process I've been in for the last 3.5 weeks. This 40-day devotional. And for the men listening, August, we're making a lot of changes to the Coliseum, the men's group. It's now going to be paid. And I know that might limit access for some people, but one thing about men is if we don't challenge ourselves to put our money where our mouth is and call ourselves forward out of the scarcity wound and to invest in something that we believe will change our lives, you're never going to change, bro. Ever. And there's going to be ways that we can support each other. But I'm launching another 40. I'm doing this 40-day devotional again. This has been one of the most challenging things. And some people think it's just the podcast. It was essentially like cut out something that's taking up space in my life. I cut out play. You know, I've talked about I'm 333 days semen retention now, but I've been in a self-pleasure practice in that time to learn how to balance and be with those high frequency states without the need to give away that life force. Cut that out completely. I cut out cannabis completely. I cut out altered substances completely. I'm meditating 45 minutes a day. I'm journaling and writing 30 plus minutes a day. I restarted the 40-day abundance book. I learned something hard, which is doing a podcast, learning how to edit and posting this every single day. What else am I doing? I've started so many things. I've started, like, this 40-day devotional has been so important to my own growth and evolution, so I'm going to bring other men into this. Men that want to step up and do this for themselves. And there's going to be a framework around it. Like, give up something that's taken up space in your life. Give it up. 40 days. Then reassess. Start something difficult that you've never done before. So it's not like I've meditated for a month and I'm going to meditate 40 days. No, too fucking easy. Something that you've never done, that you've gotten the ping to do. Let's do this together. Let's build together. Weekly calls. I got this whole framework, but I'm stoked to lead other men through this because it's been life-changing. And in this process, because I've cut the distractions and committed to something difficult outside of myself, I'm so deeply seeing the magic in all of it. I'm meeting parts of myself in a new way at a deeper level. I'm seeing the symbolism in all of it. Y'all, I've just been I've cried a couple times, and I cried when I was praying over my food this morning. And just gratitude. I felt so much gratitude in that moment, praying over my food, of like, just in awe. Man, I'm so in awe of this life. It's so incredible. It's so perfect. Everything that is happening is in our highest and best always. This life is magical. This moment is a miracle. And the noise of the mind, the stories that we tell ourselves, the choices that we perpetuate and then become victim to are all the distractions from noticing that God is alive in every moment for all of time. In all ways, always. This life is magical, y'all. And I feel myself, it feels like it's coming through clear in this episode. I feel myself coming alive in a new way, a deeper trust, a deeper resonance, seeing myself, like actually seeing myself. And I pray that we all go through this process, because every single one of us are special. Every one of you listening to this right now, you are so special. You are so loved. You are so held. You have so much to offer the world. Your authenticity is the greatest gift anybody in your life could receive. Your truth is the greatest gift from a place of ownership and responsibility, is the greatest gift anybody could ever receive. You are so unique, so divine, so held, so protected, all the things. And I pray that you see yourself in that as well. This experience of life is there are no words. It's ineffable. And I'm just happy to be here. That feels complete. Love y'all so much. Appreciate you. And I'll see you back for 28 tomorrow. Be blessed.